Because all of the bullshit he had to put up with from that last president.
That's why he's a good president?
Oh, he had to put up with all that bullshit to make things right again.
He's fixing stuff?
I think he was. Yes, I was.
So what is he fixing?
He was fixing... Yes.
What's going on, everyone? James Klug here. Welcome back to part 2 of Is Joe Biden a Good President? Let's jump back into the video. Huge shout out to our friends over at Patriot Mobile for sponsoring this video. Is Joe Biden a good president? What do you think?
Personally, me, I really don't think so. Like, I feel like he's kind of failed the country so far.
He makes no decisions on his own. He works from a teleprompter, and he is the worst president we've ever had in all of my years of living.
Inflation has skyrocketed. You know, gas prices, obviously. We all suffering from it, and I think he can do something to, like, help better it.
Does he come off as a strong leader to you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm asking people if Joe Biden is a good president.
Yes, he's a good president.
No.
No.
No?
Nah, he fell off a bike.
I remember that.
Yeah.
If you're president of the United States, should you be able to ride a bicycle?
Yes, that's 100%.
Do you think Joe Biden is a good president?
He is.
He is.
He is a great president.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No.
You was saying yes.
Is he a mental patient?
You think yes.
Yeah, I think he's okay. I think he's better than Trump. I don't think he's the best though.
I'm saying if he's a good president. Does saying he's better than Trump, does that mean he's a good president?
No, I would have to say I just like him better than Trump. I think he could do better.
What do you like about what he's done so far, in your opinion?
I like that I don't like Trump.
It's not
I can't
Trump.
stand Trump.
You think he's a good president?
Yeah, I think he's a good president.
Why do you think he's a good president?
Because all of the bullshit he had to put up with from that last president.
That's why he's a good president?
Oh, he had to put up with all that bullshit to make things right again.
He's fixing stuff?
I think he was. Yes, I was.
So what is he fixing?
He was fixing... Yes.
Well, number one is he got Trump out.
Is that his greatest achievement?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I would say it's one of his greatest achievements.
The guy was terrible, man. Come on.
Well, okay, so I understand that. I understand what you're saying there.
Now you got Biden coming in.
You're saying
and he's
Trump's
gotta
terrible,
deal
but that
with-
doesn't mean that doesn't make Biden good, though. My initial question is he a good president? You're saying you didn't like the previous guy, but that doesn't answer the question,
He's the
does
lesser
it?
of two evils.
The reason why we're talking about this, you guys have seen the polls, even among Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
He's very unpopular right now.
Right.
The Times Siena poll hit 33%.
Right.
Quinnipiac was at like 31, although I would say that's a little bit on the low end. I would look more towards the Times Siena poll, recent one that came out, 33%. 64% of Democrats don't want him to run again. Do you want him to run again?
No,
Okay.
I do not. I think we could find someone better from the Democratic Party to fill that need.
Who?
Who?
Yeah, I am curious. That's
That's an issue.
Kamala?
No.
64% of Democrats do not want him to run again. That's lower than Donald Trump's approval rating at his very lowest.
Right. Think the economy is part of it. Also think his foreign policy views are probably have an impact on that. Those are probably the top two. Government has spent a lot of money, right, and thrown it into the marketplace, and now look where we're at.
I mean, majority of Democrats actually don't even want him to run in 2024. Why do you think that is?
Because he's a failure and they'll drag the ship down. He's not going to win. He's not going to run.
You don't think he's going to
They're
run?
not going to let him run. I'd like to see DeSantis run, but I think that we're going to see the ex-president run again.
Let's just talk about COVID.
Okay.
What did Trump do for the COVID when he first found out it was going on? Did he have a plan?
He shut
Did
down
do
travel
anything?
from China.
And what else did he do? What did he do for us?
Got the vaccine
What
out
did
in
he do for the American
record
people?
amount of time.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, how long
got it.
did he know about it before we knew about it?
Am I supposed to answer that?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, let's take a quick moment to talk about today's sponsor. With the recent rulings from the Supreme Court, it's worth mentioning that these wins didn't happen on their own. It took money and the support of companies like Patriot Mobile, who have passionately fought on behalf of your constitutional rights. Patriot Mobile is America's only constitutional conservative mobile phone provider, and they have been on the front lines fighting for your values. This is why Patriot Mobile is different from every other provider out there. Inflation has made it really hard on many Americans. Thankfully, Patriot Mobile has plans for almost any budget, and they provide the same nationwide coverage as all the major carriers. Go to patriotmobile.com/Klug or call 972-PATRIOT. Use offer code KLUG to get free activation. If you're a veteran or first responder, please let them know because they have special discounts just for you. Make the switch today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Klug. That's patriotmobile.com/Klug, or call 972-PATRIOT. Let's get back into the video. What are we happy with that he's done? We have issues when it comes to inflation. We have issues when it comes to the energy. Ukraine. We're happy with how he's handled Ukraine.
We're happy that he has been able to pull and keep the European nations together.
I am looking for people that are enthusiastic. I would not put you guys in that category of being enthusiastically supporting him. However, it seems like we're happy. I wanted to generalize on what you're talking about there. Foreign policy. How has he done on foreign policy?
For foreign policy, he has restored, in my opinion, grace or something about this country.
I think he's restored the faith in what our nation stands for.
Yeah.
And that's something I think that's very important for us internationally.
Yeah. Do you guys think that?
And I think we lost that in the prior administration.
To that, I would say basically policy-wise, I thought foreign policy was pretty strong under Trump. You can say whatever you want to say about Trump. Yeah. Policy-wise, I mean, we had the Abraham Accords. That's obviously not a bad thing. That was a historic peace treaty in the Middle East. In my opinion, we also had the world behaving. But also, not just that, I think under Joe Biden, I think Afghanistan was a disaster. What would we say about Afghanistan?
He handled that poorly, but I will say that I think that what has happened on the previous administration is that it has exposed some of the divisions in our country that has been very negative for us.
With regard to Afghanistan, I think that issue, the negative aspect of that started in the prior administration also, because it wasn't Biden that said we'll be pulling out.
6 months or 7 months before we exited Afghanistan, Trump signed a treaty with the Taliban saying that we need to leave certain time frame. I don't remember exactly the date.
Right, that's fine.
If we do not leave, they're going to start killing everybody on the ground.
Because of that set date, that was why it was botched. Is that correct?
I think so.
It was the prior administration.
I don't think it was the goal of pulling out that got a lot of people upset with the situation. It's how it was done. He made sure that there was no more troops being delivered or deployed to the Middle East. Therefore, they had to relocate over to Kabul Airport, which was a smaller area in an urban area that was more dangerous than Bagram Air Base, right?
Yeah.
Bagram Air Base is a very large base in a very open area. Right. They would need more troops to do what they wanted to do.
Right.
Now, Kabul is in a urban area. Right. It's smaller, therefore 600 troops or so can go about the evacuation as they please. Right. That decision was Biden's and Biden's alone. That's where 13 service members were killed. That's where...
I just think if we were still involved in Afghanistan with what we're dealing with now in the Ukraine, I mean, there's only so much that we can do.
Not advocating. Yeah. I don't have a problem with the leaving necessarily, although I do think we sacrificed a lot of American lives for that stronghold. But that's a different conversation.
Over many administrations.
That's correct.
I keep my politics in my area. I don't go beyond my area. As long as people in my area are doing all right, I don't really give a shit about what's going on in the country because I can't control a whole lot of that.
And that's I understand that. Are people in your area being affected?
Affected? By Biden?
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, I'm from Arizona. So our border, it's kind of important.
It's a disaster right now.
Absolutely. I mean, Trump tried to do something, but no one's really addressed the border in probably 3 decades.
Is trying better than not trying?
Absolutely. I'll take a wall over no wall.
Do you think he's done good on foreign policy?
Oh, you know what? I couldn't even answer that, honestly.
How about the border?
You don't want Mexican people to come over here to the United States?
I don't?
I mean, you say, what about the border? I'm like, what about it? It's Canada and Mexico.
Oh, well, we're a country, that has like rule of law, and you can't just sneak into the country and take advantage of our resources.
Man, come on, how long is that going on?
Yeah, but
you think it just started when Biden got into office, or when Trump got in office, or even we can go back to Nixon? Come on, man. That's just a moot point.
I don't think my point there was necessarily that it's never happened before Biden. I think the point is they re-implemented catch and release, and we're hitting historic high numbers. The last couple months, we've had about 200,000 apprehensions at the southern border per month. Just to give you some context, Laguna, where we are right now, the total population here is about 22,000 people. Okay, so when it comes to stressing resources of these small towns that have about 10,000 total population on the border, and you have 200,000 people coming along the southern border every single month, that's a problem.
Laguna's suffering because of the border issue?
I'm telling you, I'm comparing the size.
There are a lot of things going on which is out of his control. The inflation is out of his control
Why is inflation out of his control?
because it just passed on to him.
I don't think there's an argument that there could be just 0% inflation, but it is at 9.1%.
The basis for inflation is basically transportation. Transportation is increased, but the price of transportation is increased by gas prices.
What do you think they've done to make it better?
He's been trying to find sources of the oil, sources of gas. He has been trying reluctantly to talk to Saudi Arabia, very reluctantly.
What about sources in the United States?
I told you he has never stopped any kind of oil production. If anybody has stopped oil production are the oil companies.
What this administration has done has been proactive.
Correct.
In creating inflation. Day one, shut down, access to lease public lands for, federal lands for oil and gas. Just one quick example. And that's what they've done to be proactive in creating a situation that's worse than it should be.
The energy is the biggest one. Another big one that just adds insult to injury is the stimulus bill that they did not need at the time because we actually had about $1 trillion in reserves at that time.
Right.
They didn't need to do that, but they did it anyways, which obviously that contributes to inflation.
Threw fuel on the fire.
Sending that message to the world saying we're not the energy producing powerhouse has an impact on oil.
It is a talking point.
It's not necessarily true. We can produce more oil than we even need to consume.
We don't.
Right. And so the messaging coming out of shutting down the economy didn't need to be, we're going to go after green energy and reject oil production. It should have been ramp that up to combat inflation as well as combat the oil shortages. I don't see that as being a pro-energy policy when it comes to wanting to get America's energy department firing on all cylinders.
He has been extremely pro-energy policy. He has a lot of, and especially on the renewable energy. The gas...
That's not helping us right now. That's why we're begging OPEC to produce more oil. Why should we bring Trump back?
Because he was all about the money, man. Realistically, Joe Biden is just a puppet for the United States.
Does Trump come off as stronger to you as a leader?
For sure. Brittany Griner would have been out of Russia right now if Trump was president. Putin's showing that he's stronger than the United States, and Trump wouldn't let that happen.
Does Biden come off as mentally sharp to you?
Oh, yeah.
He does.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Super sharp.
Absolutely.
Anybody.
Anybody?
Anybody is better than Biden.
I'd vote for Trump. He comes off as a very strong leader. Like when he says he's going to do something, he's really going to do it. It might take him a little bit of time, but he really will do it.
Would a younger person who's coming up and learning more and easier, faster brain and all that stuff? Of course there's someone faster and better.
I think that they should get somebody else, yeah. Not because of politics or anything, because of age.
If it was Trump versus Biden in 2024, would you go Trump or no?
I would have to. I really would. And I'm not a Trump supporter at all. As a matter of fact, anyone that's even get the Trump support in Arizona, I won't vote for.
You're definitely not MAGA, but you would choose Donald Trump over Biden. That's how...
Yeah.
If you were hopping on an airplane, okay, and Joe Biden was the pilot, would you get on that airplane?
If he had a licensed pilot, yeah, because you go through certain hoops that they wouldn't give the pilot license to anybody.
If he said something that he said recently, like the United Straits of America and the District of Columbia, and then accidentally said that he had cancer after, would you still hop on that plane?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I haven't heard him saying that. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I never heard him say that.
All right, everyone, that is it for today. Now, we got a lot of mixed responses, but let me know what you guys thought about what people said in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoy this video, please hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that bell notification button so you're notified next time we post. We'll see you next time.